Hi everyone, hopefully some of you will find me again. It was buffering terribly with the last live feed and it got completely stuck, so I had to cancel it and come back in on a new feed. So let's see whether hopefully people will find us. Let's see if anyone comes along. So let's just see, perhaps I could send someone over to go and get everyone in a second. Go. Yeah. Wonder, Esther, if you're there, I wonder whether you could direct people this way, perhaps from Facebook and whatnot. So I'm not sure who we've got here yet. If you are watching, I'll be back. I think I might need to go and let people know we're going to have a new broadcast. Oh, Karen's here. Hi, Karen. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Karen or Lisa, would you be able to do me a massive favour and just see if you could pop onto Facebook and just let people know that I'm broadcasting from a new link. I've had to set a new one up. It was just it was playing up, and just want people to find me really. Oh, there's a few coming now, so let's see. Hopefully, people will make it over in just a minute. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Here we go. We'll just wait to see who else turns up. Hopefully people will find their way over in just a second. Lisa and Karen, could you let me know if the sound is coming over okay? Again, we had a few technical problems on Monday, so just want to check that I'm not overdriving and all fuzzy. If I'm good to go, I'll keep on this microphone, but if not, I can switch to the one we used for Canicabila. Hi Robin, you found me. Well done. Brilliant. Hopefully there's a few others joining now, so hopefully a few of us will find their way along here in just a second. There we go. I had to start a new feed because the last one froze up completely for some reason. I don't know why, but the wonders of modern technology. Hey, it's brilliant when it works, but a pain when it doesn't. Let me just see. I might just see if we can post. There we go. Sounds good. Oh, great, fantastic. And there's a few more coming over as well. Hi, Margaret. Well done for making it onto the new feed. Thanks, guys. There we go. So, Karen, I don't know if you get a chance whether you could just liaise with Esther if she's around and just see if you could point people in the direction of this new feed. I've had to restart it again because of all the problems. Hopefully, people will work out that I've started a new one. So perhaps whilst we're waiting for people to arrive, I'll play a little bit of the piece that we're going to do today. So this is a piece that I wrote for an album called Pale Pale Moon, and it involves this really lovely kind of alternating bass line that we're going to put into it, which is quite pretty. And for some reason, when I recorded the album Pale Pale Moon, I got mixed up. So on the album it's written as Willow, but actually it should have been Pendulum because that's the proper title. So I'll just play a little bit for you now whilst we're waiting for people to hopefully find us. Something like that, anyway. I was a little bit distracted because I kept, so might have added a few mistakes in there, but there we go. So that's the piece that we're going to learn, and I've got a few exercises as well that we're going to look at, which is going to help to introduce this technique just nice and gradual as we learn. So hi Dunya, you found us, great. Dunya, I've just sent Karen over there as well. I don't know if you could just let people know on Facebook that I've had to start the new feed. That would be amazing. Perhaps someone could post the link to this one. Thanks, guys. There we go. So let's have a look in our sheets then. The sheets are still available for download for anyone that hasn't had a chance to download them yet. And we've got a kind of a sheet where we're going to look at how to kind of create this nice kind of juxtaposition of this ongoing bass line. I'm calling it a bass line. Really, it's almost like a 2-note drone that we've got going in the background. And we're going to juxtapose that over the melody. And a really good way to do that is to do some exercises to build up to it. And then, of course, after that, we're going to have the actual piece of music. And I'm going to work through literally measure by measure. We're going to take it really slow, so don't worry if anyone's sort of a bit, you know, a bit worried about I played that pretty fast, didn't I, in the run through. You'll soon pick it up. Let's bring the sheets up on screen then, and we'll start looking at a couple of the exercises to get you all going. There we go. Let's pop that up there. Fantastic. There we go. Fantastic. Okay. So on your first sheet, you'll find a set of exercises. Before we do that, let's just have a look at holding the uke, because that's going to be really important today. Obviously, there's lots of different ways to hold the uke. Some people, when they're standing up, they'll use a strap, and the uke will be quite horizontal like this. For today, if it's possible, I'd like you to really concentrate on having that uke just nestled in your lap. So I've got the lower bow on the inside part of my right leg, because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed and you play the other way around, you might have the opposite. Notice that means that that uke is at that lovely 45-degree angle. That's going to really allow these fingers to travel up the fretboard without tripping over themselves. If we're here, it kind of, can you see how it kind of forces my arm into some kind of uncomfortable positions, whereas here I'm going to have my arm out and I can reach those notes, and that's going to be super crucial. The other thing that's important is your right arm, and this is going to be super important today. So notice I'm playing what we call short arm, where I'm coming over the top of the ukulele. So this is a classical guitar technique. We either have short arm, where we're coming over the top and we're almost pulling up on the strings, or we have long arm when we come along the side and we're pulling up with the side of our fingers. And what we've got today is short arm, but not quite directly up. Notice my fingers are at a 45-degree angle. That's going to create a really nice tone, hopefully, on those strings. So perhaps even before we start, we could just practice picking through the open strings. The thumb will take the G string, then C, E and A with your next 3 fingers. And just concentrate, playing from top to bottom, getting a really nice warm tone. Notice my fingers are just curling up into my hand. I'm not kind of moving them far away. Okay. Let's get this thumb going next then for the thumb technique. I'm going to bring in close camera here so you can see it quite. There we go. Fantastic. That should work. If I come over here, I finally fixed my chair so I can scooch about today, which is quite handy. Now, what I want you to practice first, this isn't your first exercise, this is even before that. I'd like you to practice just picking the C string with your thumb. Now notice that I'm just picking down with my thumb. I'm not moving my hand away, keeping my hand near, just picking down. And I'm using the middle part of my thumb. Let's see if I bring it that way around. That's better, isn't it? So I'm using the middle part of my thumb, not the side of the thumb. If I use the side of the thumb, quite often you can kind of get this twanginess where it can catch the nail. So I'm using the nail part of my thumb. If you have no nail, you can just use the upper part of the pad of your thumb. Will be absolutely fantastic. And I want you to play along with me with this timing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Fantastic. So we've got that nice warm tone. Notice also that I've brought my hand back over the sound hole. I'm not picking, normally when I strum, I often get you to strum up here, don't I guys, where we meet the fingerboard meets the body of the uke. But I'd like to bring your thumb back here. The reason is it means that you're not going to get caught up in the fingerboard up here, and it will give you a nice rounded tone. Okay. So let's have a look. Just checking. Oh, hi Terry. There we go. Fantastic. Dunya's saying the sound's distorting a little. I'll keep an eye on it. Can somebody let me know if it gets any better or worse? I can go back to the other mic if it's a problem, don't worry. Next up, what we're going to do then is we are going to do our first exercise on our sheet. And all that we're doing really is we're moving our thumb between the C string and the G string. Now, it's quite a free stroke. When we talk about ukulele picks, we can do two different types. We can do a rest stroke where the thumb will pick and rest on the string below it. See how I'm picking the C and resting on the E string, or I could pick the G and rest on the C. But this one is a free stroke, so after you've hit the note, you can just play between the two like this. Oh, sorry Karen, sorry to hear you're having problems. Technology's not doing me any favours this week. Okay, so let's try that together. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and aim for his are the same volume and same warmth. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Fantastic. Thank you, Peter, for sorting that out. I really appreciate it. I seem to be having technology issues this week, and you've managed to find me. That's the important thing. Oh, hi Esther, you found us again. Phew. Oh, what a palaver, hey. It's been a week of technology issues. Let's have a look at our next exercise then. So this is where things get slightly tricky, and this is where it gets a little bit, you know, where you have to kind of do that exercise where you pat your head and rub your tummy at the same time. It's super difficult, isn't it? This is a little bit like that, but hopefully I can give you some information to help you with this. Okay. So the next exercise, we're going to start playing chords at the same time as the melody note. Now, what we're going to do to make that work, first of all, in fact, let's just practice the chords. I know it sounds daft, but let's practice the chords with our left hand. We've got a C, a G, an A minor, back to G. We've got a C, a G, an A minor, and then back to a C again. Now this is a crucial thing as you play through this exercise. No matter what happens with the right hand, I want you to put your fingers down for the whole chord. So if it says a G, I want you to finger a whole G, even though if we look at the tab, we're only playing 2 of the notes of that chord when we play the G. But it means you can play it a lot quicker if you get into your full chord position. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to keep this thumb rolling no matter what happens, like this. C, G, C, G, C, G, C, G. Let's slow that down. Let's do it about half as quick. Okay. Now, on the first and the third beat of every measure, that means every other pick, you're going to pick the A string with your ring finger. I find it easier to use my ring finger. Some people might like to use their index finger like this, but I'm going to use my ring. It feels more natural. Okay, there we go. I think we've got a little bit of distortion on the microphone again, so I'm just going to switch my mic to the other one. Give me just a second. That should sort it out. Microphone. That should be a lot better, guys. Let me know if that's working. It should be working a bit better for you. Okay. So, for instance, on this is exercise 2 for anyone that's just joined us. On this first measure, we're going to pick the C and the A string at the same time. That gives us the sound of a bit of a C chord, but we also have that low C note. Then we're going to keep our alternating thumb going. Just like that, see? So we pick the high C note, keep that alternating thumb going. Then we're going to change to a G major chord. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Pick 2 at the same time, so we're pinching C and A. Okay. And then finally we're going to go to an A minor. We're still going to put the finger up here. And that's really important because when we do the alternating bass line, we are going to hit this A minor. I'm just going to put the mic up a bit louder for everyone. And then back to a G again. Okay. Sorry guys, I put it up a lot louder. That should do it. That should do it. Okay. So if I put that together from the start, I'm going to have C, G, A minor, and G. See, I'm just picking every other note. C, G, A minor, and C. There we go. Let's see if I can get the sound level up even more. I've turned it up even more, so that should do it. So if it's probably Bev, it's probably because you had me turned down a bit because the volume was so high before, and now I've switched mics. It's probably still too low. So just switch me up on your end if you can. It should bring it back to normal. Should we try playing through the whole of that exercise then, nice and slowly? Come in after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, G chord, A minor chord, and G chord, C chord, G chord, A minor chord, and back to a C chord. Yeah, really nice. Ah, great. Woohoo! We finally got the sound problems sorted, I think. Oh, what a palaver. I'm so sorry, everyone, and thanks so much for persevering with me. I really appreciate it. I know it's a hassle when these things happen and you have to come and find me again, but I think I'm looking at the numbers. I think we've got everyone back, which is great. So thank you so much for bearing with me, everyone, and thanks for your support this week. I do really, really appreciate it. Okay, so this is just that exercise, just getting you thinking about keeping that rolling C and G notes going whilst we play something else on the A string. And this is really important. We'll go into this in a lot more detail when we look at the piece. But it's really crucial that you think of these almost as 2 different things. We have one thing happening down here, and we have the thumb doing something else up here. And I really want you to differentiate that. And that's how we're going to use the next exercise. This one that says introducing the melody. The first thing I want you to do is not even play the thumb thing at all. So if you just play the notes that are on the A string, you can either use the tablature or I'll tell you the notes. We're going to play a 3, that's a C, a 2 is a B, an A, 0, back to the 2, which is a B. We're going to play a C again, 3. We're going to play the B again. We're going to come off for an A. And then finally, this time, this is the first time it's happened today, the melody is going to drop down onto the E string. So we're going to play a G on the E string by putting our finger on the 3rd fret. Let's do that again. Hi Anne, well done for finding us. Got there in the end, hey? What a palaver. Sorry guys. Let's try that. Just the notes on the A string, guys. Come in after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. That's C. Then 2. Off for B. Back on for B. Up to C. 3. down to 2, B, off for A, and then finally 3rd fret for the E string for the G note. Now, this is a totally a psychological thing, but I really want you to think about what you're doing on the thumb as almost like a totally different thing. It's almost like you've got a magical man down here just doing this for you. You can almost forget about it and just concentrate on the notes up here. Tricky as anything, but it's super important. Think horizontally rather than vertical. Try not to look up and think, for instance, in that first measure, try not to think of the first thing you do as 0 and 3, which would be this pinch. Try and think of it as it's just that 3, and it just so happens that we're moving our fingers between those bass notes all the time. Now, if we put the 2 together, let's go like crazy slow, all right, because everyone's new to this. It will sound something like this. I go really slow now. 1, 2, 3, 4. It will sound like this. So 2. Just keep that thumb going. And off. Back on. Go to 3 again, C. To 2 again. To off. And then finally that G on the E string. Okay, let me know how you got on. We're going to try that once again in a minute, so don't worry if you went wrong and you want another go. This time as we do it, I'd like you to concentrate on something. See if you can make the bass notes, or the notes that we're using the thumb, the alternating thumb. Try and make those slightly lighter than the melody note. So sometimes to do that, I'll use the pad of my thumb rather than the nail of my thumb, and I'll use the nail of my ring finger to pick up. So it gets a little bit started. So yeah. Oh, don't worry, Angela. So I'm going to go through it again. Don't panic. So yeah, don't worry. Betty, you could alternate the fingers if you wanted to on the melody line. You could either alternate this hand by using alternate fingers. But to be honest, because the melody isn't that quick, I tend to just use my ring finger for every note that's on the A string. Just picking with my ring finger on all of those. On the left hand, you definitely want to alternate. You want 3, 2, off. See how I'm using, if a note falls on the 3rd fret, I'm using my 3rd finger. If a note falls on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger, and so on and so forth all the way through. So we'll do that one more time, guys. So this is exercise number 3, okay, for anyone that's late. And we're going to pair a nice alternating thumb pattern, really slow, with these notes that are happening on the A string. Should we give it a go? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3. Thumb. 2. Keep that thumb going. Off. Keep that thumb going. Back to 2. We're going to go to 3 again. Down to 2. We're going to come off. And then this next one's G note on the E string. 3 there. And that's really crucial, that one, because sometimes the melody will come onto the E string when we're doing this technique. So it's just good to get used to that. I'm going to do that one last time, and I'm going to do it very slightly quicker in tempo. If you go wrong here, doesn't matter one bit, all right? As long as you're understanding how the technique works, you can do it at your own pace and you can go a little bit quicker. Let's try it about here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3. 2. Off. 2, 3, 2, off, G. Now who's feeling really crazy? Should we try one even faster than that? This is just for fun. If you can't do this, don't sweat it at all. And Jackie, don't worry, you can always still download the music, but I'll try and keep as much on screen as I can to help you out as well. I'll make this a little bit bigger for you if you want. You might be able to see it on a large screen in the corner there. All right, and you can always follow it along and just learn what you can from today and come back to it later. Okay, so yeah, we restarted, Angela, so we had a bit of a problem. We had to take it back, so you could either watch it back from the start of this section, but we're only on exercise 3, so you haven't missed too much. It's up to you guys. So let's have a look. We've got a lesson from, we've got a question from Lisa. So should we be plucking 3 and 0 at the same time? Yes, at the start there. So if I bring this super big, whoa, and I'll bring it over here for a minute, just so you can see, and I'll scooch over here. Can you see that the first thing of the first measure? We've got 0 and 3 at the same time, haven't we? 0 on the second string down, that's the C note, and a high C, 3 on the A string. So there you will pick both at the same time. It's almost like a pinch. Can you see here with my fingers? I pinch the C and A strings at the same time. And then the next 3 notes, I just keep my thumb hopscotching. That's all it is. And then when I get to the 2, I'm moving my finger here to 2. I'm doing exactly the same thing. Pinch, thumb, thumb, thumb. And then off and pinch, pinch, thumb, thumb, thumb. And then back to 2 and pinch. Now, what I said about thinking of them as 2 different things, it's just a psychological thing, Lisa. Well, everyone really. It's just a psychological thing, basically. I find it easier if you can think of the melody as one part, and then the thumb part, where you're just doing the zeros, as another part. It will allow you to be able to process the melody a little bit faster. So, come on, let's go mad. Let's just do one super fast, just for the fun of it, all right? Even I might go wrong here. Let's find out. Let's try 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3. 2, off, 2, 3, 2, off, and G. And again, 3, 2, off, 2, 3, 2, off, and G. That was probably super hard, right? But it just shows you, once you get into it, you almost need to just practice slowly and build up. You'll get this with time. One of the things that I recommend in terms of practicing this is if you've got a metronome at home, what you can do is you can set it to a really low level and just practice to a metronome. I haven't got one on me, so I'm doing my own mouth metronome. You ready? Now what you would do is you'd set the metronome super low on your first note. And then speed it up a little bit each day that you practice. And you'll find that you kind of keep up with it. As long as you don't go too fast, you'll just improve a little bit each day. So that's really, really important. So, Richard's saying he finds when he plays the G note on the E string, that 3 in the final measure, his thumb moves to the G string instead of the C string. That can happen. And if you find yourself getting out of sync, so your thumb's on the G when it should be on the C, the best thing to do is just pause for a minute, come back to that thumb, practicing that, and just bring it back in. You will find, even when I play this and I go fast at concerts and stuff, sometimes I get out of order with my thumb. It doesn't matter massively, because as long as you're still creating a rhythm of 2 notes, it doesn't hugely matter. You'd be playing different notes from everyone else if you're playing it at the same time, but if you're playing solo, it's not a big deal really, is it? But yeah, try and just think of it as a separate thing and relax into it as much as you can. Rebecca, yeah, absolutely. That when I go to the E string, that G note, I tend to pinch that one with my, I call it my second finger because I call this one my thumb. Some people call it the third finger. Pianists would call it third finger. Okay, so I will pinch, when I do the note on the E string, I'll pinch with my second finger. And when I do the notes on the A string, I pinch with my third finger, ring finger. Again, your mileages may vary. I know Aaron Kine, when he teaches this technique, he'll quite often use the index finger for melody notes on both the A and the E string. And there's nothing wrong, it's just what kind of feels natural to you. Again, Bev, just chill with it. I do as well. In fact, because I'll be honest, I was a little bit stressed with the technology at the start and it was all going a bit Pete-tong, as we say here in England, or wrong for everyone else. I was panicking a bit and I got out of order when I played the live bit at the start to show you how it goes. So don't sweat it, it will come with practice and just relaxing into it as much as possible. Dawn, don't worry, we had a few technical issues at the start, so we had to do a new feed in a different place. You can always go back and watch this one from the start. You haven't missed too much. We haven't got back into the playing, so yeah, no worries. No worries, Karen. Oh, hi, Tim. Good to see you. 6 a.m. in Hawaii. Wow, that's amazing. You're up with the birds today. That's incredible. Okay, so let's have a look at our piece of music, Pendulum. So if you missed this in the intro, on my album Pale Pale Moon, I've got this as the 4th or 5th track, I think it is. But for some reason I called it Willow there. I don't know why, I must have just been feeling facetious on that day, or I just got it wrong. But I have titled this Pendulum, and this is going to be in my book that I'm going to release hopefully later this year or early next with fingerstyle pieces. The reason I called it Pendulum is it kind of reminded me of my grandfather's clock, which is a grandfather clock, because the top goes, reminds me of that pendulum swinging on a grandfather clock, so that's why I've kept it. So let's have a look at what we've got going on here in Pendulum. First thing, I know it sounds daft because you've been doing it loads already, let's just practice the first 2 measures because it's great to practice just that alternating C and G string pick. Okay, let me just find the right angle thing there. I'll come over a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the first 2 measures, literally with the thumb, I'll give you a counting of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just C and G. Just get that going. And relax. Now, can you see at the start of the music we've got an MF? That's not a rude phrase for anyone that's angry because it's hard. It means mezzo forte. That means medium loud, and because it has the word forte in it, which is loud, a lot of people just presume that that means that you need to play loud. But actually medium loud just means your normal ukulele picking volume pretty much, alright? So don't have to be super loud with that. Just get that C to the G going. The next bit, what I want to do is just teach you the notes on the A string. And someone, I can't remember who now, earlier didn't have the sheets printed out. This is quite nice because a lot of this you can practice almost like as an exercise, just following the notes that I call out. So you can there it is, Jackie, wasn't it? You could just play this from rote. I'll do a little bit at a time. So because we want to disassociate that thumb from what we play with our index finger, or whichever finger we're picking the A string with, it's really good just to practice the melody first. So if I look at measures 3, 4 into 5, in fact actually just 3 and 4 first, the first few notes are 7, 5, 3. It's like 3 blind mice, right, isn't it? Now, it's quite good to pick the 7th fret with your little finger, pinky if you're American, because then you can pull back to one of your other fingers for the 5. Here. And if you're in old money, that's E, D, C. Okay. So just practice that a few times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. See how that 5 comes in on the 4th beat. I'll do that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, just those notes, I want you to try piecing together with our thumb pick. We're going to do it really slow. I'm going to go about this fast. Okay. So that will sound like this after 4 with the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, let's try that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7, 5, 3. Okay. Now after that you can see a 12 with a little dot on it. Now some music publishers will do a diamond shape for this, but because for some reason I can't find that shape on Sibelius, I've used this alternate symbol for a harmonic. And that's where we're going to pick a note at the 12th fret, but we're going to produce this lovely bell-like chime. I'm going to show you how to do it, but if you struggle with harmonics, there's an easy alternative, all right? So if you see that and you think, I can't do it, don't panic, all right? It's absolutely fine. I'll show you an alternative. If you want to try the harmonic, what we need to do is we need to put our finger, I use my 3rd finger, over the 12th fret. Now when I say the 12th fret, I don't mean the gap in the 12th fret like you would if you're playing a note. I mean actually physically over the metal fret. So you don't want to count all the way up from there, it'll take too long. Find 10, which has a gap of 2 before it. Notice on your dots on your ukulele you've got one with a gap of 2, that'd be 10. And then the next one would be 12. Quite often your 12th fret will have 2 dots on it. A lot of ukes have that. Mine has 2 dots at 7 as well, but this one's the 12th. And it's the right hand side fret of that 12th fret. What we're going to do is with a very light touch, we're going to touch the string with this hand, okay, our left hand. We're not going to push down on the string as if we're playing a note, we're just going to touch it. And then with any finger, I use my 3rd finger, we're going to pick fairly forcefully the A string, and you should get this noise even without taking your finger away. Then, if immediately after you hear that noise you take your finger off, you should get a lovely ringing harmonic. Okay, it's really pretty, isn't it? You're basically teasing the string into thinking it's half as long, which is really clever. So we get this high A note. Okay. Now, if you find yours sounds like this, or even more like that, it's because you haven't taken your finger away fast enough, or because you're pressing. Try not to press, just touch the string. If you get this, it means you've taken off your finger too quickly and you've taken it off before you pick. But just practice. With a bit of practice, you get this lovely harmonic. Now that's quite tricky. If I just show you how that will sound, I'll go nice and slow again. Okay, from that 7, so from measure 3, it will sound something like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7. 5, 3, and then I hit that harmonic. Notice as soon as I've hit that 3rd note, I start travelling up, so I'm ready for the harmonic. I'll do that again just to show you. Here I start travelling, and then I ping it. If you find the harmonic really difficult, you can play an open A note there. So in place of the 12, literally just do another pinch of an open A. That will sound like this. Okay. Still sounds beautiful, right? It just hasn't got the ping of the harmonic, but it's still really nice. All right, so if you struggle with that, that will give you a chance to practice. Let's try the whole of that first line then. You can do this, guys. Let's try it. So remember the first 2 measures, we're just getting our thumb going. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and another measure. and 7, 5, 3, harmonic. Yeah. Let's try that slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so measure 1, go nice and slow now. Measure 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7, 5, 3, harmonic if you can. Yeah, let me know how you got on. It's quite tricky, isn't it? But again, lots of practice, you will get that in time. No worries, Margaret, I'll catch you soon. Hope you're keeping well over down there. Okay, right, so that's our first line done already. And you might think, wow, we've only got one line done and we're you know, halfway through or whatever, but actually there's a lot of repetition in this song. Because if we have a look at the next line down, let's see if I can make it bigger and then move it off to the side a bit. There we go. Yeah. If we have a look at the next line, in effect, we've got a very similar thing. We're doing the 7-5 again. Only this time, instead of going to a C, which was the 3, we're going to play a G chord, okay, with our left hand, but we're still going to pick as we were before, just pinching those 2 strings at the same time. Now the reason I finger a whole G chord, even though the tab says just 2, is because in my mind I find it quicker to go bam, G, than I do to think 2 and 2. It's just a psychological thing. I just find it easier to think we're playing a G chord, so that's what I'm going to do. So that's why, even though I don't need this third finger, I keep it down because I think it just is a bit easier psychologically. Okay, so now that bit is going to sound like this. I'll just play it once, then I'll give you a count in and we'll do it. 5G. Okay. And then finally, to finish off that phrase, we're going to stretch our little finger way up here, pinky way up here, to add this high D note. And again, it looks like it just says 5 and 2. You could just play it like that, and if you find it easier, no bother, I'm totally fine with that. But I find it easier to think G, and I've added this high note in. Okay, so I'm going back, and I'm going to play that really nice and slowly, the start of that second line, and then I'll do one with you guys. I count you in. So it'll sound like this. 7, 5, G, add the finger. Let's give that a go all together. Come in after 4. I'll give you a slow count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7 and 2 and 3 and 5. G, add your little finger. Yeah, good. Okay, I'll teach you one more bit and then we'll take a break and I'll take some questions, see if anyone's managing to keep up. Okay, so after that we're going to look at next 2 measures, which are 7 and 8, and that is a repeat of the start again. Okay, it's just the 7, 5, 3 and the harmonic if you can manage it. Let's give it a go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7. Oh, sorry. I get my finger in the right place. 3 and 4 and 7. 5, 3, harmonic. Okay. Mine wasn't very good. Let me try that again. Oh, that's not very good either. There we go. So see, I get it wrong sometimes. Absolutely fine. That's why this one's terrifying to play on stage, because if you get a harmonic sounding wrong, everyone knows it. There's no place to hide. But there you go, just to repeat again. And this is where I think, rather than thinking about the tab, rather than thinking I'm playing 7 and 0 and then 5 and 0, just think of it as a melody. And then we piece that together. The thumb just keeps moving no matter what. I find it's a lot easier psychologically to think of it that way. Okay, there we go. That's most of the first section now. Now, this next bit is playing through chords, but we're kind of doing what we're doing all the way along, only this time we're going to finger whole chord shapes. And I think it's important that you finger the whole chord shape, even if it looks like you're just doing part of it from the tablature, okay? Because it's less to think about. So if we have a look at measure 9, which is, I think it's the third line down, isn't it? I'm using the on-screen one rather than my sheet paper. What we're going to do is we're going to put our finger on an A minor note, and we're just going to pinch, just like we were before. Then we're going to do the same on a G, same on a C, same on a G. Then we're going to do A minor, but notice we've got this high C added. Back to G, and then C. So this is really interesting because a couple of my students, Esther and Dunya, we did a version of this technique in class, and Dunya, I find it really interesting actually. Would you let us know? Did you find that the more you did it, the more natural it felt, that you're able to do it? Same for you, Esther. Just a bit of reassurance for everyone, because it's crazy tough, isn't it? And Bev, again, don't worry, this is crazy tough stuff. It's proper patting your head and rubbing your tummy at the same time. But just take it slowly. You will pick it up eventually. Just sometimes it's a case, sometimes I'll literally, you know, when I'm learning this stuff, I'll sit in front of the telly. It drives my wife mad. Sometimes I have to go upstairs and I'll just practice doing that. Nothing but that for ages and ages. And when you can have a conversation with someone at the same time, like I am with you guys now, that's when you know you've got it and you can just keep it going. And then you can kind of just think about the bottom string as its own thing. I just keep my thumb going and I'm thinking 7, 5, 3. And my thumb just keeps doing what it does. In fact, the whole song, your thumb doesn't stop doing that. That's all it does for the whole song. And then the rest is you're just picking with this finger. And Lisa, yeah, harmonics they can take months to practice. Just give it your best. Everyone's ukes are different sizes and the frets are different heights and all sorts of things. So it can take a little while depending on your ukulele to find that sweet spot. It took me a long while to learn them. So yeah, don't be discouraged. Just keep going with time and you'll get it. All right. So the other thing that I just wanted to say, just in case anyone's into this stuff, can you see on the sheet music every now and then some of the notes have a little wobble over the top of them? Looks like a little kind of like a wavy C or something, or a little maggot, I don't know. Now that is just to tell you that you can add a little bit of vibrato on that note, but I think, personally, I think this is hard enough already, so I would just ignore that for now. But just in case anyone's wondering, on that 7, I'll just add a little bit of vibrato of that left hand as I'm going. But I think that's a bit too much. I think we've got such enough to think about already. So yeah. So stick with it, Angela. You'll learn more as you go along, and then you can just keep practicing. And good, Esther, you said the right thing. Well done. I'll send you the £5 note in the in the post later. Okay, let's have a look at 9 and 10 again, those measures 9 and 10. So remember, we're always doing this thing where we're pinching notes, okay, at the same time. The thumb keeps going, no matter what. And then just see if you can follow this. I'll slow it down even slower. I'll go really slow, about this speed. And come in after 4 and I'll talk you through the chords. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and A minor, G, C, G, C, or A minor there, sorry, G, C. Let's do that again because I said the wrong chord in the middle, didn't I? Do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and A minor, G, C, G, A minor with the C added, G, and C. And again for that, if it helps, kind of, you can almost talk yourself through it. Something like this. Pinch, tap, 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 tap, tap. Yeah! You can do it. Bit of practice, you can get it. You can get it. Okay. So basically the rest of this piece, what we're doing is we're adding more and more complexity to it, okay? So if you struggle with this next bit, what you could do for now on the video, this would be a really nice way for you to still join in if you're struggling. Just play the melody part, because I can take the thumb part, and then as you feel more confident at home when you've practiced this over the next few weeks, you can start putting them together. So if I teach you, if you just concentrate on the notes on the A string if you're struggling, that's totally cool. And that will help you, because then when you put the thumb in together, it will all work out. And anyway, I like to break it down as just the melody first. So if we have a look at measures, where have we got now? We've got to measures 11 onwards. All right, there we go. Danya's been practicing all week, so DH has had to listen to quite a bit of thumb drone this week. There you go, dear husband. He's he's heard lots of this, but it's beautiful anyway, isn't it? Tell him it could be worse. You could be learning George Formby when I'm cleaning windows. Okay, right. Let's go from that that break then. So we're looking at measure 11 now. And again, what I like to do is just get used to just the melody first, okay? So just the melody on its own will sound like this. And we've got the harmonic, okay? So it's almost the same thing, we've just got one extra note in the middle, okay? So if I play that in slow motion, it'll be 7, 8, 7, 5, 3, 5. Just that is enough. If you're feeling brave enough, you can put that harmonic in. Okay, we'll do that again. I'll quite often start that 7, 8, 7 with my last two fingers, because it gives me a couple of fingers to fall back on, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7, 8, 7, 5, 3, 5, and you hit your harmonic. Okay, again tricky, but you can have a go. So Anne's making a dinner with a uke round her neck. No worries, Anne. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your dinner. We'll catch up later. And don't worry, Jackie. Again, you'll get it. Mine's exactly the same. My brain sometimes goes, no, I'm not having this. But I promise, if you stick with it, you'll get it. So there we go. Let's just see. I've had a one from Pete. I'm just checking in on. Finding measures 9 and 10 easier as the chords changing. Yeah, Pete, that bit's quite nice. Whenever I'm doing this live and I'm playing it at super high tempo, sort of that bit will be but I kind of like it because, like you say, because it's always chord, note, chord, note, chord, note, chord, note. You can kind of relax into that bit a bit. So it's a bit, that's the bit where I kind of, I draw a breath. So yeah, well done, well done. So now if we put that back together. With the thumb pick, it will sound something like this. Perhaps if I just play it on my own really slowly, just first, so you can hear it. Sorry. Okay, I'll do that slower. Okay. Now again, it's too easy to think of that vertically, that 7 and 0, 8 and 0, 7 and 0. Think of it as a separate thing. Just keep that thumb going, no matter what. Let's give it a go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 7, 8, 7, 5, 3, 5, harmonic if you can. Okay. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7, 8, 7, 5, 3, 5, and pinch. So that's it. Again, it sounds really pretty, doesn't it? Even slowed down like that, it's really, really pretty. It's one of my favourite techniques, but just takes a while for you to get it. So yeah. Esther's got a good question. She's asking about my chord changes on the quick chord change section. What I'll do, Esther, we're going to come to another of those after the next bit, so I'll show you them. But yeah, it's a great idea. I'll show you that at the next bit. Okay, so from measures 13 to 15, you'll kind of probably see that there's a bit of a pattern emerging, because it's the same thing again, the 7, 8, 7, down to 5, only this time we go to a G chord and we add that little finger again. So it really kind of helps to kind of just to start to kind of recognise those patterns. So I'll do that slowly after 4. This is measure 13. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7, 8, 7, 5, 3, G chord. Add that little finger at a 5th. Yeah. One more time. Let's slow that a little bit further. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7, 8, 7, 5, 3, G chord, and add your little finger. Good. And again, some repetition. The next two measures, 15 and 16, are the same as what you did at the start of this section. Let's give them a go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7, 8, 7, 5, 3, 5. Hit an A if you like, or now I'll answer Esther's question now, because as if by magic, the next bit we have another one of those chord runs. And again, loads of repetition in this song. It's exactly the same as we did last time. There's no extra sophistication here. It's exactly the same thing. Okay, let me just play it again to put it in your ears. Which way do I need to go? This way, so you can see this left hand. A minor, G, C, G, A minor, G, C. Now, if I just break it down into the chords, what Esther was talking about, which is, thanks for reminding me, Esther, it's really useful actually. What we're going to do is there's a way to make these chord changes a little bit smoother. So I have A minor to G. When I go to this next C, notice I leave this second finger down, because it gives me something to pivot on to get back to G. And then when I do that next A minor on the next measure, I still keep that pivot down. And then I pivot on it again to G, and again to C. Alright? So apart from the very first A minor, I keep it down, that second finger, no matter what. All the way through. I forgot to do the A minor, didn't I? But you get the idea. I'll do that one more time. 2 and 3 and 4 and C and G. A minor with a C and G and C. Let's try that with the thumb then. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and A minor, G, C, G, A minor, G, C. Bit slower this time, that's a bit fast for me, that's a bit naughty. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and A minor, G, C, G, A minor, G, C. Did anyone get it? Did anyone get it? Love to know if some of you managed to get that. That'd be really cool. Okay, practice makes perfect, guys. That's brilliant. Okay, the next part, I even debated putting this bit into the piece because this is where it gets even harder, right? So this next bit, if you're struggling, you could either just play the notes on the A string or even just practice your C string. There's nothing wrong just practicing that as we play along as well, which is totally fine. But this is where it gets a little bit tricky. We have this really pretty... I've forgotten it. Let me look at my sheet music. Okay, it's getting a little bit more busy, isn't it? We've got this melody going on. And when I did the playthrough at the start, I did that wrong, and now I'm getting it right, which just goes to show how if you practice and concentrate, you can get it. So, yeah, absolutely. Bar 18, the same as 10. So, where is it? Or measures 17 and 18 are the same as measures 9 and 10. All right, so it's the same thing there going on. All right, let's just go back again. Fabulous. Okay. Cool. So let's have a look at how to play this just the melody only on the A string for this next bit. Okay, so this is second page, halfway along, guys. All right. So what we do is we'll just play these notes, just follow the numbers. Okay. Now I start with my little finger up here, which gives me more fingers to move back from. So I've got my little finger on 10, and I do 10, 8, 7, 8, 7. Just try that on its own first. 10, 8, 7, 8, 7. And again, 2, and let's slow it down. 3 and 4. And 10, 8, 7, 8, 7. Okay. Then I pull back to 5. And then I come back to 7, 5, 3. And another 3. Okay. If I put all that together, if I just play it to put it in your ears. Let's do it all together. 3 and 4 and 10, 8, 7, 8, 7. Pause. 5, 7, 5, 3, 3. Okay. Now you might not be able to do this yet, but if you put that together with the thumb strum, what I'll quite often do when I come to a new part like this is I'll just practice. Just this first. Kind of gets me into the swing of it, helps me with my timing. It gets that thumb going. And then we play exactly what we just did. Now it's hard because sometimes this thumb might go out of order. If it does, just keep tapping, alright? Even if you go... It doesn't massively matter, does it? We lose that lovely high, low, high, low, high, low, high, but you still keep the rhythm going. So don't sweat it. It's all right if you go wrong. And as I say, I did in the run for it at the start anyway. All right, one more go. 3 and 4 10, 8, 7, 8, 7, 5, 7. Ah, 5, 3, 3. See, I go wrong, you're allowed to go wrong. One more time. Let's slow that down. 3 and 4. 10, 8, 7, 8, 7, 5, 7, 5, 3. Okay. And again, you're probably getting some of the patterns now. The next bit is exactly the same, only we land up on that G chord. So this first bit's the same. Only here, just play a G chord. Now, those of you that are super observant notice an extra note in there this time when we go to the G chord. So this time, instead of playing the G chord and reaching up like this, we're taking our finger on and off this C note. All right, let me see if I can come over a bit so you can see all of it. Let me go nice and slow. So I'm going 10, 8, 7, 8, 7, 5, G chord, add the note and take it away. That's it. And again, 3 and 4 and 5, G. And again, if you find that tricky, just leave that section out, or you could make your own section up. As long as you're keeping that going, you could add any notes. Any melody notes will work on this in the key of C. You could add in that. So just to finish off this section, this takes you to measure 23 now. All right, we've got one last high bit, and this is a repetition of what we've already done again. So this is our 10, 8, 7, 8, so on and so forth again. 3 and 4 and. Okay, and then, you've guessed it, we've got another one of those chord sections. No change whatsoever, exactly the same as before. Whoops. Maybe with an extra note in there completely by accident. But it's the same bit as before. Whenever you get to that bit, just keep doing it exactly the same. And it just kind of finishes off, kind of bookends the end of each section. Excuse me, I've just got a bit of a niggle in my throat. I'm just going. It's orange juice, honestly. Not neat whiskey, I promise. Okay, so that's what's happening with this theme all the way along. And again, I've said this a million times, but I don't apologise because I think it's really super important. If you're not getting it right now, that's fine. As long as you understand the process, you can take it slow and you can either get it through time or you can arrange your own simpler version. And that'd be really nice, actually. Perhaps anyone from the Uke Students Hangout and my Facebook group, where we all post videos, you could have a little try of making your own alternating thumb video. That'd be quite cool, doing your own tune. It should be really neat. Esther pointed out something. I think there's a mistake on bar 22. Yeah, Esther, that's a mistake. Well, everyone really. Can you see on bar 22 we've got another one of those circles, which is like a harmonic. You'll be glad to know that isn't me being a sadomasochist. That would be almost impossible. I've put it there by accident. All right, sorry guys. I don't know why I did that, but that is just a normal G bar. There's no harmonic in there, all right? Just keep picking as is shown. All right, so we've got one last section to learn. And again, it might look like there's quite a lot to do, but actually the whole of the last section is a whole section you've already done. We just repeat the start again, basically. So we've just got this one new section coming here from measure 29 where it says P. Hey Esther, doesn't mean you don't have to do it. That's your challenge. There you go. I've never even tried it. I suppose it'd be possible if you did a one-hand hum on it, but oh, that's hard. There you go. That's your challenge, Esther. So next bit, again, it actually is an easier bit. This is kind of like the chordal bit that we're doing, but we stay on an A minor. So this is one of those moments of respite in the song where it's a little bit easier actually. Basically what we're doing from where it says P is we're putting our finger on an A minor chord, okay, and I use my first finger. Normally when we play an A minor we use our second finger so we can drop down to F, which often comes after it. But we're going to use our first finger for this one. And it's following the same pattern where we're doing pinch, rest, pinch, rest, pinch, rest, pinch, rest, pinch, rest, pinch, rest. Follows that pattern all the way along. And all we do is when we pinch is we play certain notes on the A string. Okay, so let me come in close. Val, that's not fair. Where's my Easter egg? That sounds amazing. Good on you. Come on, let us know what chocolate egg it is. Oh, I don't know why I said chocolate egg. It just says chocolate. Sorry, Val. I've slandered you. I've said you're eating Easter eggs when you're not. You're just eating normal chocolate. It's still a bit early for Easter, isn't it? So what we do is we keep that A here, and then we just keep this pinch thumb pattern going, and literally we just take our finger from 5 to 3 to 2 to off, and then we go back again, off, 2, 3. Okay, and it just relaxes there. Let's do that again. Come in after 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 5, rest, 3, rest, 2, rest, off, rest, then the other way, off, rest, 2, rest, 3, loads of rest there. Then we do it again, 5, 3, 2, off. Now this time we're going to go off, 3, and this next section again looks terribly hard, but it's not as awful as it looks actually. I think it's one of the easier sections, you should be glad to know, in this song. This is the 3rd page now. What we're doing is we're going to some chords up the fretboard, but there's a couple of tips which make this a lot easier, because people hate chords up the fretboard, don't they? Basically what we're doing is we're holding down an F chord. The reason this is called an F chord is because we've taken a C chord and we've taken it up the fretboard. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. All right, that's what we've done. So this is an F chord. So bar in the 5th fret, little finger on the 8th fret. Now, the nice thing about this is you don't need to squeeze as hard as a normal bar chord, because the notes that we're playing on the C and G strings, they're only on these top 2 strings, right? So you only need to use this finger to put pressure on these top 2 strings, okay? And all you do is you pinch, you keep that rhythm going. Let me move this out of the way again. And you pinch, and then you just keep your thumb going. Just pinch once at the start of each measure. Then next measure, take away your little finger, do the same thing. Where it says E flat, we just bring exactly the same thing back to 3 and 6. Exactly the same shape, and you do the same thing. Take away your little finger. We do exactly the same thing on 4 and 1. And again, next bit's not too hard. You can relax into this now. Okay, we're going to go from the 2nd fret of the A string to 3 whoops, to 5 and 7. Then we do it again, 2, and then 3. And relax. There we go. Ah, ginger chocolate. That sounds amazing. Esther was trying to get me to eat some ginger for my cold. Esther, does it still count if I have it in chocolate form? I've got a cold at the moment. It's got this horrible tickly cough, and Esther was recommending some ginger for it. Maybe I could get away with some ginger chocolate. Let's try the whole of that section then, starting from the top of the 3rd page. So we're going to do this high F shape up here. Let's give it a go. 3 and 4 and pinch. Move your little finger away. Pinch. Same thing at 3 and 6. Pinch. Little finger away. Pinch. Same pattern 1 and 4. Pinch. Little finger away. Pinch. And I'm going to go 2. Just follow it with me. 3, 5, 7, 2, and 3. And that's it. Do you know what? If you got that far, and well done for everyone that has, even if you're not playing it perfectly yet, that's the whole song. And you might think, what? But it is, because the next bit is something you've already done. It's just that A section again, where we do this. We do it again. The G. And we do it again. Up to that harmonic. And then our chords. We do these twice now, slowing down. Whoops. And then at the end, just a C at the end to finish it off. So the whole of that last section is just the same as the second time through the first section, if you see what I mean. So you'll get that. The rit just means ritandando, which is Italian, I think, for slow down. So we're slowing at that point to the end. And then the kind of the symbol that looks a little bit like a lizard's eye, I always think, or a bird's eye at the end. That's called a fermata. And it means a note or a chord of indeterminate length. What does that mean? Well, it means you just strum it and you stop whenever your ukulele stops making a noise. So your uke decides how long that last chord lasts, and depending on how big your uke is and what woods it's made out of, it will last different lengths for everyone. But that's all it is. It just means you play it and let it out. So I can take a bit of a break now, just to answer any questions to see how you got on, and then we'll try playing the whole thing through. Doesn't matter if we don't get it straight away. I might make a mistake like I did at the start anyway. We're all friends, aren't we? Thanks, Linda. That's really kind of you to say. I really appreciate that. That's really lovely. It's really sweet. I did Karen. I think she might have. I don't know, are you still there, Karen? Karen was looking into some of our Facebook statistics from the group on there, and it was really interesting how many people from the States have joined the group. So that's really cool. So it's really nice to hear that we've got fans over there over the Atlantic. Thank you. That's really lovely. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Esther. If you wanted to join the Facebook forum, Linda or anyone else for that matter. Oh yeah, ginger tea. Sorry. If you wanted to join the Facebook forum, there's a link in the description. It's basically a place on Facebook where we all hang out and we post videos of ourselves learning these pieces that we do in the live lessons, or anything really. It's a lovely way of getting support. So everyone's really supportive on there, really encouraging, and it's fantastic. And some people on there are almost complete beginners, and some people have been playing years. So it's a really lovely mix. Don't feel you've got to be like super amazing. So yeah. Lorna, really good thing to note, actually. Really good question. So it's it's natural. It's completely natural, Lorna, for that C string to ring out a little bit louder than the G string. It's because it's a thicker string on every ukulele. It's the only way they could make it low enough in pitch. And because of that, and because it has slightly less tension, it tends to boom out a bit. So the only thing really I find that counters that is if you just use the pad of your thumb on the C string. You can use the pad for both, but really keep that pad really nice and light. And if in doubt, if you quieten them both down, which we want anyway, you'll find that the differences will be much less, and then you get a much nicer, louder melody on the A string. All right, let's just have a look. Esther's got a question at the end as well. Oh, thank you, Dawn. That's lovely of you to say. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you. It's better when I haven't got all these things going wrong. It drove me mad. At the start of Caterpillar, it was all sounding weird as well, and we're having problems. So it makes me really... I used to get really nervous, even teaching live like this. I'm not half as bad as I used to be, hopefully. Hope I'm not, guys. You tell me. But it really throws me when things don't work. So sometimes I get a bit like, at the start of the lessons, and I talk at a million miles an hour because I'm thrown by the technology, but hopefully I'm back to normal now. Esther, yeah, that C chord at the end, you could do either. So you can either do it as a strum. That's how I do it. I just strum down with my thumb on that last one. And notice I drag it over the strings really slowly like that. You could do a rolled strum where you play each string in time like that. That could be quite sweet as well. Or you could do a nail down. But the main thing is, rather than, you don't want it to be, we want a nice, almost like an arpeggio where we drag it out. Just one last tip, because this might help for anyone, even if you're not playing a song. For that vibrato, see we've got that vibrato sign on the last C. A couple of tips to get a nice vibrato is take your thumb off the back of your uke. It helps if you've got a strap, but even if you haven't got a strap, whilst you're doing just that, you could support the body of your uke with your hand, which is what I'll sometimes do, or in the crook of your arm. Now that means, sorry, getting a buzz there. That's better. That means that your hand can move about more. When your thumb is on the back, it's hard to move it about. So thumb off the back, and then it's your whole arm. Can you see? Right up, almost to my elbow. My whole arm moves, and then the fingertip, it's not swaying backwards and forwards like this. It looks like it does, but it's just wobbling. And that wobble is what produces that vibrato. You won't hear it super loud because it's in a chord. If I was to do maybe, you can hear it better when it's an individual note. The other thing is try using your third or second fingers for the chord, because you can vibrato more easily. For some reason the first finger, because it hasn't got far enough to move, it can be a bit awkward. So yeah, a little bit of vibrato. Fantastic. So what I think I'll do, let's have a look. We'll have a look. Oh, thanks, Dawn. Yeah, it's nice when you can watch them in real time, isn't it? Because you can actually be there and ask questions and stuff, which is always good. It's nice to feel part of it, isn't it? When everyone else is just chatting away and stuff as well, which is really good. So fantastic. So yeah. I think at some point, Peter, I need to work on my internet connection. I'm in proper rural Gloucestershire here, and those that have been to my retreat know that I'm in the middle of nowhere, like on my t-shirt. And unfortunately, it means we haven't got kind of fibre or anything like that, so I'm reliant on good old-fashioned broadband. So it's a bit of a pain. It's actually better when I do it at home, but then I've got kids running around in the background going, so, yeah, fantastic. Okay, let's have a look then. Let's try the whole thing. We'll go at super slow pace. I don't know if I'll be able to flip the pages, so those that haven't printed it out, just follow as best as you can by following my fingers, all right? In fact, let's move this out of the way and then you can see me better, okay? We'll try the whole thing really, really slowly from top to bottom. Let me have my sheet music ready. So get your 3 sheets out if you've got them. And again, if you haven't quite got the knack of it yet, just play either, just use this to play along, playing this in time. It's a really good thing to do, or just practice the notes on the A string. All right, let's give it. Oh, and before we do, Daniel's got a really nice, I'll put this down here so everyone can see. There you go. So persevere. See, it's not just me. It gets so much easier the more you do it. So yeah, stick with it, guys. You will get it. Okay, here we go. From the start, let me just tip that down a bit so you can see my U better. Here we go. Right, so remember the first 2 measures, just your thumb. And we'll go slow. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 7, 5, 3. A or harmonic. Again. 7, 5, G, and the finger. 7, 5, 3, harmonic. A minor, G, C, G, minor, G, C. Here we go. 7, 8, 7. 5, 3, 5. And again. G, and your finger. Here come the chords. Chords. And again. Now the B section. Nice and quiet now. We go again. Up to the F if you can. Little finger away. Back to 3. Little finger away. Down to 1. Little finger away. Then 2. 3. 5, 7, 2. 3. Okay, back to our 7, 8, 7. Whoops. And then slow it. Well done, everyone. It's a hard old piece, isn't it? But it's really pretty, I think, when you persevere. So do stick with it. Just take it one section at a time and go really, really slowly. So yeah. Let's just see how everyone's doing before I sign off. I'll be here for any questions now for 10-15 minutes just to see how everyone's getting on. So we'll see how we're going. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Thank you. Oh, it's one of my favourites to play, this one. So yeah, it's on my album. I did have one around somewhere to show you. Is it over here? On my album Pale Pale Moon. I think I saw some down here. There we go. There it is. No, they've disappeared. Anyway, sorry. I'd like to hold up an album. Maybe Esther can. No, that's not going to work, is it? I was going to say maybe Esther could hold one up. There they are, hiding away in a box over here. There we go. So on an album that I did during lockdown, Pale Pale Moon. And this is those of you that were at Canacapila the other day on Monday. We had a lovely photo by Peter. It's not actually. I'll tell you what. If I come on the other angle, it'll work better. There we go. And hopefully, if I come in closer, you can see that lovely bit of photography. So that was actually a photo. It looks like a piece of art, doesn't it? That's a photo taken by Peter, who's probably still with us now, has been taking part today. Peter's a really, really wonderful photographer. In my other room, I can't take you through there because I'm attached to the computer, but in my other room, I've got a lovely calendar that he did for us. And this is the album Pale Pale Moon. And for some reason, I called it Willow. And I have another song which is actually called Willow, so I got mixed up, as I often do. But it is actually, yeah, it's Pendulum is the name of it. But hopefully you enjoy it. I don't go crazy fast on a record, but I tend to do about there, I think, which can be a bit tricky. But bear in mind, I've been doing it a long time, and I still managed to go wrong at the start anyway. So yeah, fantastic. Oh, Vicky, I didn't answer your question. So sorry. There is a reason actually to alternate the thumbs going that way around. I like the sound of low to high. Because C is our lower string on reentrant ukes, high G ukes, we get that nice high to low to high. But in actual fact, you can play it on the low G, and if you've got a low G uke, then I actually like to reverse it. So see if I can do this without destroying two ukes at the same time. So on a low G uke, I'll often reverse it. I'll go G C. Because then that gives you low to high that way around. But I do prefer this particular piece. I think I prefer it going from C to G like that. I think I was inspired by there's a really lovely record by the Magnetic Fields, and it's got a song on it called Reno, Dakota. Reno, Dakota, I know now I odor of you. And it has that start where it's just two notes. Reno, Dakota, I know no iota of you. And I think that's probably where I got that first bit from. I think that stuck in my head, and that gave me the alternating bass part. But yeah, I like that low C to G. Again, Dunya, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just working on it, isn't it? A bit at a time. That's the way to do it. Let's see. So the Facebook. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten Karen. It's just so many questions. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. Karen's mentioned the Facebook group. So if you go into on the original video, of course I've had to start a new live feed, haven't I, for this one? If you go into the original video, you'll find a link in the description, and it's Matt Stead Uke Student Hangout, or it might be Uke Student Hangout Matt Stead. Have one of those two. If you put it in Facebook and search, you'll find it. But if you go into the original video that I'm meant to be doing today before it all went wrong, you'll see it on my list. You can find it there. So it'd be really lovely if some of you haven't joined to come and take part, because it's a really lovely growing community and everyone's so friendly on there, which is really, really great. And all the details of the previous live lessons, because there's tons of them now, are on my website here, mattsteadukulele.com. And in fact, as well as that, there's, see if I can make it bigger. As well as that, there's lots of other courses as well. So there's playing up the dusty end, there's beginner's ukulele, intermediate ukulele, advanced ukulele, there's music theory, full sequential courses that you can take part of for free on there as well. So that's worth checking it out. But yeah, do come along to the Facebook, that'd be great. We've got some joining requirements that Karen's just reminded me of. If you do join the Facebook group, it'll just ask you for some questions. It's not a quiz, don't worry. You don't have to have certain knowledge. It just says, you know, Karen will remind me, but it's like, what ukulele do you like, and do you agree to abide by the rules? Which basically is being nice to people. So do answer those questions when you join, otherwise the Facebook thing will automatically reject it. So just say, yes, I abide by the rules, just so you know, just to make sure. It's there to stop bots. It's not to stop nice people like you guys. It's there to stop. Lots of times you get these bots join in and they post loads of spam. So that's the idea. We're just checking you're a real person. So Pete, you got the final C. Well, that's the most important, isn't it? That's it. That's the one that the audience remembers. So well done. Fantastic. Oh, Alistair. Yes. So, glad you reminded me. We've got 9 places left on the retreat. So I'll see if I can find a poster. I think I've got it on my desktop. So at the end of next June, start of next July, we're going to have our annual ukulele retreat. We haven't had one for 3 years because of COVID. And basically what it is I host you here in the Royal Forest of Dean, which is a really beautiful place. And in fact, this year we're doing a very special place, somewhere called Speech House, which was a hunting lodge for Charles II. Not that I agree with hunting, that's a whole other thing. But it's a beautiful, beautiful historic lodge, and it's surrounded by miles and miles of ancient woodland. And we get you all together for 3 days. The main 2 days are Saturday and Sunday. Friday we have an open mic night. And we've got teachers coming from all over the world to teach you ukulele. We break out into small groups, and we've got lots of exciting things. So we've got a beginner's class this year for anyone. So if you've got a friend or you're not that confident yourself, we've got a beginner's class happening. But there's lots more advanced stuff as well. And you break out into lessons with the teachers. On Saturday, we have a teacher's concert where you can just get inspiration from their brilliant playing. And we've got some brilliant tutors. So far from the UK, we've got Phil Dolman, Samantha Muir, Percy Copley, and myself as well, all teaching. But we've got 2 overseas tutors. We're just waiting to confirm. We will have 2 overseas tutors, but we just need to check details with them before we can mention their names. But we'll have some really cool people coming over. But we're also going to have ukulele meditation in the garden by the pond. And we're also going to do one of my ukulele walks. So we go on a hike on the Sunday and you get to see the beautiful forest and play ukulele together with lots of beautiful people in a beautiful location, which is great. And then finally on Sunday, we have a students' concert where the teachers teach you what to play and you play it in front of your fellow students in a warm and welcoming environment, which is super cool. And all the food's included this time as well, so it's all on there. So we've got 9 tickets. The only thing is the accommodation is running a bit low. I think if you phone, they've held a couple of rooms back, so if you get in soon and you phone up to book your accommodation, do it sooner rather than later. That'd be fantastic. But even if you can't get accommodation on site, there's loads of B&Bs, there's campsites, there's all sorts around in the forest. So yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. So yeah. Lorna, yeah, absolutely. I'll post it in the comments, but there's a link to it on the Facebook group. But I'll post it in the comments. There is a video of me playing through the whole thing, so you can just watch that in one go, so you can hear how it sounds. Absolutely. And I think you can on Bandcamp as well, where a lot of my music's on there for free. Or you can give a donation. I think there's a version that you can listen to for free on there as well, so you can have a listen. So yeah, brilliant. So, oh wow, I've got ukulele Ankara. Hi from Turkey. That's really cool. Fantastic. That's brilliant. Yeah, that's cool, Pete. That's good going. That's absolutely fine. That is takes a little bit of time. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Val. That's really kind of you. Really kind of you to say. Yeah, that was recorded at here actually at the Uke Room during the pandemic. Kept me busy. So yeah. Oh, and Esther's found rather than a link, just so you can find it quickly if you want to. If you search Matt Stead Willow in YouTube, it will come up. It'll be the first track you should see from the album Pale Pale Moon. So yeah, you can find it. You can find it on there as well. So brilliant. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. For anyone that is still around, I should tell you we've got a couple of things coming up. We've got our Canic Peelers every Monday, which is where I teach you to play about sheet music. That's every single Monday, unless I'm away, from 6 o'clock in the evening till 8 o'clock. UK time, that one is. And there's tons of those that you can watch back again, all listed on mattsteadukulele.com. We have these live lessons every 2 weeks. Again, unless I'm away on holiday or I'm poorly or something, they're every 2 weeks. And the next one I'm quite excited about. I wonder if I could bring up some sheets to show you. I'll see if it'll let me show you. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at "Stay With Me" by Sam Smith. You know, stay with me because it's plain to see, that one. And we're going to look at chords up the fretboards. And I'm going to show you a system which will allow you to take any chord up the fretboard. And it's really exciting. It's going to kind of allow you to do loads of things, taking you into second and third position. I think I can show you something I was working on today so you can see what it looks like. I'm nearly there, guys. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Live lessons. Is it at the top here somewhere? Where's it hiding? Ah, here we go. So I've designed these kind of worksheets like this. This is what we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks' time, where it shows you different shapes that you can take up to play different types of chords up the fretboard. So major chords, minor chords, and sevenths. And we're going to have 3 different types of shapes, so 9 chords altogether. Well, more than that, because it's in every pitch, so 9 times 12, whatever that is. And it's a really simple system where you can kind of learn to play up and down the fretboard, which would be really cool. Here's one in the key for chords from the D shape. So I'm going to put this into, I'm going to knock this together in the next, I've got to finish it off. I'm going to knock this together in the next couple of days, and this will be the next lot of sheets that are available. And as I say, we're going to set this to the lovely song Stay With Me by Sam Smith. Thought I'd go for something modern. I know it's a few years old, but for me, considering most of the songs I play are from the 1930s, that's quite modern for me. So that should be fun. That's going to be in 2 weeks' time, guys. So stick around for that if you can in a couple of weeks. Brilliant. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Alistair. Yeah, spread the word, because it does normally sell out, but I think got a few more weeks yet. So yeah. Angela, absolutely, yeah. If you're bringing partners along, they can come on the yoga and walks and whatnot. So, yeah, more the merrier. It's just going to take a merry band around the forest so they can come along whether they've got a ukulele or not as well. Yeah, Lorna, yeah, absolutely. Just bring them along, and yeah, they can join in and all that fun stuff. And they can obviously stay for the concerts as well. No charge for that. We'll squeeze everyone in. So, yeah, three chords. 3 shapes give you 3 chords. So 3 times 3 times 12, I think it is, Pete. We'll be learning just with the use of 3 A4 sheets. So don't panic. It's a clever way to learn them all. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to head off now. I need to go and just make sure that I've got the new link for everyone to follow if anyone's a bit late or whatever. So I'll put that on the piece. And I'll see you all either Monday for Canacapilla, which I'm really looking forward to, or in 2 weeks' time for the next live lesson. Take care, everyone. Sending all my love. And thanks for putting up with the technology issues at the start. Bye. Bye, everyone.